for their first win of the season against the Titans. Here's the play that changes the entire game. Titans are dominating. They're up 7-0. They're going in to score again, and then Will Levis, Dan, does this.
I can't believe Carson Wentz did it again. No, I mean, Greeny, you can't do this. Unacceptable. If you're a mouth reader, Brian Callahan agrees. And the fact that you take the points off the board for nothing, a massive mistake.
They score right there. Titans probably winning this game.
Last week I said he point shaved. I don't know what you call that.
It turns the whole game around. Then it's the oldest player in the NFL throwing a touchdown to the youngest player in the NFL. Rodgers to Braylon Allen. The Jets tie it up at 7. Third quarter, Jets are down 10-7. How about this throw and catch?
Unbelievable. Breece Hall asks for this in the timeout. He gets the matchup on the linebacker, beats him off the line of scrimmage. A beautiful throw, better catch.
Jets go up 14-10. Game is tied, 7 minutes left. Here's the big play. Garrett Wilson on a 3rd and 1.
Greeny. First of all, this freaking throw is sick. Second of all, the adjustment by Garrett to go looking this way and to track it running full speed in that moment and make the catch, absolutely absurd.
A real-time Iron Eagle called it a Willie Mays catch, which was a great call. And then it's Allen taking it in for his second touchdown in the J. Jets have a little like thunder and lightning kind of backfield with Breece Hall and that young kid and Robert Saleh happy as the Jets get the victory 24-17. And so they are going to have another short week as they will play New England on Thursday night. I think, and look, I mean, you know me, my inclination is to start with the Jets in most cases. But I think we have to start with Will Levis. And Dan, you made the point. After what he did last week, just gave a game away against the Bears, you would have thought this was the last thing in the world you would have a problem with this week.
Yeah, I mean, this team is 2-0 if they had Mason Rudolph playing quarterback. And coming off of last week and what he did against the Bears, and I saw Bill Belichick kind of talk about him and Tom Brady, talked about these situations, and whatever you're trying to pull off is not worth that 1 or 2 yards that you might get. And here's the thing, when it's in time and in rhythm, Levis is so impressive. When he gets into these adrenaline type of moments, through 2 weeks, that's your concern if you're Brian Callahan.
Coach Belichick used to always tell us more teams find ways to lose games than win them. That's a classic example. You're literally taking points off the board by doing something so selfish.
I mean, and that's what it is. It is selfish. Like, this guy plays like he's Brett Favre. You ain't Brett Favre. You know, you got a chance. He can throw it. He's all that.
He's got a lot of good things. I mean, you watch him play. He does so many things
when it looks like it's supposed to look, it's pretty.
And look, can we show last week's? Do we have last week? Oh, you guys are the best. You're not great. You're the best. Nice job. And that's when I shouldn't have said point shaving, but by God, when you're sitting back, I got to go home to Tennessee, Nashville, brag about my Titans. I'm not bragging. I'm sitting back going, what the hell are you doing, Will Levis? Here, 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, you cost us football.
I honestly thought, as upset as Callahan was, and you mentioned lip reading, I thought he might bench him for that just because 2 weeks in a row, you can't have that. You just can't do it, and you have to send a message that we just can't. They absolutely, look, nothing can be proved of this kind. In my opinion, they absolutely win that game if they just kick a field goal there. If they just kick a field goal in that spot, the Titans were in total control of this game at that point. I guess we don't know what happened.
Yeah, and I know Callie, he's about as mild-mannered as it comes. To watch him kind of be that frustrated says a lot. If they can get that out of his game, and I think that's a massive if, they got a really good player.
I agree.
They have to. Yeah. They have to get it out of his game, or you're going to end up, losing games consistently over and over and over for the.
To that point, I'm not saying you bench him forever, but just to send, just so he gets it. We can't have that. That said, very quickly, you used one good word. What did the Jets find yesterday?
Identity on offense. I think 2 of the things that really stood out. One, they got him to empty a ton, meaning 5 wide receivers or 5 people out in the pass and just 5 guys blocking. And the great thing about it is Aaron knows exactly what the defense is doing. Where's the weakness? He gets the ball to the perimeter. He gets the ball to Garrett Wilson. Quickly, some of these third downs, he knows exactly where he's going to love the matchup. And then the run game. I think them getting into some of their different personnels in their run was a big part. If you can keep him clean in some of this empty stuff, and then you commit to some of these 2 back runs, these 2 tight end runs. And here's the thing that matters the most on all this. Aaron knows at the line of scrimmage where the weakness structurally is to run the football. They're always going to have advantages because of that. That's their identity.
All right, so we'll leave that there because I want to get a couple other games in here. But so the Jets get the win and again have the quick turnaround again against New England this Thursday. Let's run the hurry up more games. The Bucs go into Detroit off a very impressive win. D. Wood, what's the first thing you said to me about Baker Mayfield this morning?
He's a top 10 quarterback. He is.
Talk to him.
Like people want to continue to doubt Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has found a home in Tampa, and Baker Mayfield is playing some really good football down in Tampa. He has weapons. Obviously, him and the chemistry with the play caller seems like it's going really good. Watch out for Tampa, man. Like, Tampa is legit. They are a legit team.
Yeah, Tampa and New Orleans both off to quick starts in that division. Meanwhile, Rex, bad game or bad sign for the Lions?
No, I mean, bad game. And let's face it, it was such a bad game. They had 468 yards and gave up 216 yards. They outplayed the hell out of them statistically, but you're 1-7 in the red zone. That's what's pathetic about that game. I mean, come on, Detroit's a way better football team than that. 1 of 7 in the red zone, 2 interceptions. Like, that's how you lose a game that you should have dominated.
Next one I want to get to, Dan Orlovsky. Vikings with a very impressive win over the 49ers of Minnesota. Talk to me about Sam Darnold.
Man, where's Stephen A right now? Where is Stephen A? Sam Darnold's the best story in the league going right now. The reclamation of his career, the bomb touchdown to Justin Jefferson. He's got 500 yards through 2 games, 4 touchdowns. Don't forget, he did this without Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson. He's got this Vikings team at 2-0, missing 2 of their best players. This is the team in the NFC that no one wants to see, that they did not expect to say that come August.
You're 100% right. Kevin O'Connell is exactly what he needed. He's always had unbelievable talent. He's never had a chance between the terrible situation he had with the Jets and then he goes to an even worse one in Carolina.
Week 2, and it's already started. How about them Cowboys?
You think Stephen A. is happy now? Wait until the football players start explaining exactly how deep this really is for Dallas. This was exactly what they couldn't stop a year ago. So they make the coordinator change. They bring in Mike Zimmer. Dan Quinn gets a head coaching job. And this offensive system, which Green Bay used with great success in that playoff game, and half the contenders, if not more, in the NFC use, the Cowboys cannot stop it. Explain that from one of the great defensive minds in the history of the game.
Yeah, well, quite honestly, they should have hired that guy you're talking about. That probably would have worked out a little better.
Quite honestly.
Look, we bragged about them week 1, and they did. They took advantage of a team that was having, the 2 backup tackles in Cleveland, had a great game. So we're like, everybody's excited. This Zimmer's the answer or whatever. Yeah, all right. I just go back to, when they made that hire, I was like, why? They can't stop the West Coast system. That's what these teams lose. All of them. Daniel's going to talk about the teams that actually use them, and the list is long.
Yeah.
And so you brought him in to stop them, and all I keep going back was his last 2 years in Minnesota, they were 29th in the league in total defense. So you're getting what you thought you were getting, or maybe not.
So, Dan, let's make the point here. This offense, which is being run, and D. Wood pointed out his name, Clint Kubiak, the son of Gary Kubiak, is now the offensive coordinator in New Orleans. This is the offense that Green Bay runs. It's the offense that the Saints run. It's the offense the 49ers
the
run.
49ers,
Minnesota.
the Bucs, Minnesota, Atlanta, and the Rams.
And they can't stop it.
Correct.
So explain that.
So the premise of it is the run and the play action married together. The premise is motion at or before the snap, and then also the awareness of when in the run game, we want to run towards what we call the bubble, okay? Meaning we're going to set our tight end to one place, and then the Cowboys structure are going to line up in their front. And the bubble is where the defensive tackle is in between the center and the guard backside. The tight end's to the bottom of the screen. The defensive tackle is up top. That's called the bubble. We want to run that way. Now look at what we do with the motion to get the reverse. We hold people backside, but the bubble means we get double teams front side, and we get massive push at the line of scrimmage. 134 yards before contact yesterday because of the bubble. Now the tight end again is at the bottom of the screen. There's that bubble up top, so that defensive tackle between the center and the guard, the defensive end is wide up top. Here comes the motion again. Look at the double team push that we get front side and then everybody now is swarming in that zone scheme, which is the foundation and the premise. This is why they struggle to defend that, because they consistently line up with that defensive tackle away from that tight end. Offenses know it, and then they'll get some motion to hold some of those second-level defenders. And that double team, you know that double team just, if you don't have an elite defensive tackle, it just changes the line of scrimmage.
I have to say this because I'm watching it, and if you're going to line up in that front, I don't know if we can just freeze it on showing that front you're talking about, how they're running to the bubbles and things like that. They're actually outflanked.
That's correct.
Which is
explain what that means.
Means that you don't have the numbers.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is the biggest, ridiculous thing I've ever seen. What is this, grade school? You are outnumbered at the point of attack. I don't care if you have Randy White and Bob Lilly over there. You're outnumbered.
Outnumbered and out-leveraged.
Outnumbered. Yep. And so to me, this is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. They got no chance. I don't care who you got in there.
So I want to make sure it's clear, because now I think we're in an important place.
Well,
is this a coaching issue?
No,
or
it's
a
a coaching issue because I'm going to tell you something. If you're sitting back saying, okay, your force is coming from the secondary, and in this case, you don't have a safety down.
Meaning your health.
You don't have a safety down, so the corner must be the support. If that's the case, you're playing cover 2, you better jam that in. He needs to go underneath. It's ridiculous. You're having your guys got bullseyes all over their chest.
Greeny, what he's saying is
ridiculous.
Structurally, the way that the coaches are setting up the players, they're outnumbered, meaning they don't have enough people, or they're outflanked, meaning the leverage that the offense has created has put us at a disadvantage on defense.
So I want to make sure it's clear, because I can't be the only one who doesn't speak football in the same way that you guys do. No, it's for the advanced class, but this is important stuff. Yeah. Is this about the players that they have not being able to do what needs to be done, or is it about the scheme that they are utilizing on the defense?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both, because, when you talk about good coaches know how to set players up for success. And what Dan was talking about, how the way from a formation standpoint, creating leverage is all about angles. Football is all about angles. They created great angles for the offensive line to have success in pass protection. You saw them use 6, 7-man protection. Guess what? That's how you neutralize Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons was on the back of a milk carton. Michael Parsons was on the back of a milk carton. But you know why? Because the coaches understood where their problem was on the defensive side of the football. You put guys in pass protection, make sure Derek Carr is protected, and then you exploit them down the field.
So let's ask the important question here, because if you guys can all see it, means they can see it too.
Sure.
So can they fix it? With the players they have, can they fix it?
Absolutely. And I think Zimmer hasn't put in his whole system. There's no way you're not going to do that. This guy's a good football coach, a damn good football coach. All right. But if you're playing a cover 2 look or the corners down, then you need to bring your defensive end underneath it and cancel the C gap, make the ball bounce. They do nothing. Everybody's just lined up in gaps and they're running it downhill. That's why they're getting 5 yards before you even get contact. So to me, he must not have that in yet. And it should be built into your system, but these guys obviously don't know it well enough.
You can fix it, yes. I do believe it's a very difficult offensive system to play against because of all the balance that it has.
But everybody runs it.
Correct. I think to fix it, you need people more than X's and O's. And I don't believe that the Cowboys have the people to consistently get it done. X's and O's help. But I don't think they have the people to consistently
be clear, and they better fix it soon, because they get the Ravens next week, who are desperate.
Boy.